right. Welcome to peptide class 101. Buckle up, pay attention, get ready, take down some notes and a pad and paper. I am going to try to explain this in a simple, layman's terms manner, and you can have this video and save it so you can look back on it. I am not familiar with the peptides thiamycin alpha 1 that you have or kisspeptin 10 that you have. I did a little bit of research. I found out that the kisspeptin peptide is really good for sexual libido in both male and female. It also is good for reproductive aspects of the physical body. And then the thiamycin alpha 1 is just a general good peptide to use in the stack that you're using. Again, a lot of research goes into this. I have only researched thoroughly testosterone, CJC, and ipamorelin. Every peptide has a different protocol, and by that I mean how often you take it, how much of it you take, which is micrograms, and for how long you take it, right? How often you take it should be between, you can do 5 days on and 2 days off. You can do 6 days on, 1 day off. Personally, me and Kendall do 5 days on, Monday through Friday, and 2 days off on the weekend. So Monday through Friday, we're dosing. Saturday and Sunday, we're not dosing. You want to do that for a period between 12 and 16 weeks. Most, and I repeat, most peptide protocols are a 12 to 16 week investment. You don't want to do anything less than that, and you don't want to do anything more than that. So 12 to 16 weeks is a sweet spot. You may need to research kisspeptin, and you may need to research thiamycin alpha 1. Not sure for how long you can be on those, but generally speaking, it's 12 to 16 weeks. Long investment, expensive investment. Do the research, it's gonna be worth it. Don't do anything less than 12 to 16 weeks for a majority of peptides. Okay, so now I do 200 micrograms of CJC a day and 300 micrograms of ipamorelin. I break that up into 2 different shots. I do one in the morning after the gym because that's when your growth hormone is the highest. That's what you're trying to manipulate, is your growth hormone. And I do one at night because when you're in your sleep, deep sleep, REM sleep, that's when your growth hormone is the highest as well. So I do 100 micrograms of CJC with 150 micrograms of ipamorelin in the morning. And I do the same thing, 100 micrograms of CJC and 150 micrograms of ipamorelin. CJC has a max dose of 100 micrograms. Anything more than that, you're just wasting your time and your money. So a lot of people do 3 doses throughout the day of CJC with different peptides because they want to get the max of what they can. So anything more than 100 for CJC, you're just throwing money out the door. So could be the same thing with kisspeptin, could be the same thing with thiamycin, or it could be different. You may need more. You don't want to be wasting money or time or like destroying your body because this is essentially something you're injecting into yourself. It's serious, and if you don't have the right dosage protocol, it can make your life even worse. Not a red flag, just something you have to throw out there because that's the reality of the nature of what you're doing. It took me a little bit of time and research to figure out that the medical research that I read, obviously big words, a lot of science, showed that CJC has a max dose of 100 micrograms. Ipamorelin, you can go a lot higher in that, 300 to 500 range. You can even go higher than 500 if you'd like. The results that I like that I saw in people were the 300 to 500 microgram range. I'm about to finish week 10 of my dosing protocol of 200 micrograms of CJC and 300 micrograms of ipamorelin a day. And once I get to the kind of 12-week mark, maybe I'm going to up my dose of ipamorelin to maybe 400 to 500 micrograms. So we'll see. Now, math. Gonna break this down simple. Took me a little bit of time, so bear with me. For every 1 milligram, this is a 5 milligram vial, right? 5 milligram vial. For every 1 milligram that's in a vial, you have 3 different vials. There's a 3 milligram vial and you have 2 5 milligram vials. So let's talk about your 5 milligram vial. That way you can just get the basic math. For every 1 milligram that's in a vial, that's 1,000 micrograms. So that's the conversion. 1 milligram equals 1,000 micrograms. So if this is a 5 milligram vial, that means you have 5,000 micrograms, right? So that will be able to gauge how much of a vial that you need for the peptides that you're taking. So for CJC, right, I have a 5 milligram vial here. I do that twice a day for 200 micrograms total. So this vial, if you do the math, 5,000 micrograms at 200 micrograms per day will last me 25 shots, right? That's the math. So if I were just to take 100 micrograms a day of this, let's just say for all intents and purposes that I was just gonna do 100 micrograms per day, this vial would last me 50 shots, right? Because 100 times 50 is 5,000. So that's the basic math. Now, ipamorelin, same thing. 5,000 micrograms in here because it's a 5 milligram vial. This will last me, I gotta do the math in my head. I take 300 of it a day, 300 micrograms of it a day. 5,000 divided by 300, I think is 16.6777, whatever. I've done the math. This lasts me around 2 weeks. So, because I do 300 micrograms a day. So that will help you gauge as to how much you need to take or how much you need to order, right? So those peptides in there, I don't know about them. I don't know how often you're supposed to take them. I don't know how much you're supposed to take. And I don't know for how long. I know for a fact with tesamorelin, I know that you have that, that you should be taking 1,000 micrograms of tesamorelin per day, 5 days on, 2 days off, 12 to 16 weeks. That I do know because Ken has ordered tesamorelin, and she's gonna start that stack when she's off of this current stack that she's taking. 1,000 micrograms of tesamorelin is the sweet spot. You can go up to 2,000 micrograms, right? So if it's a 5 milligram vial and you're taking 1,000 micrograms of it per day, which is a lot, that vial is only gonna last 5 days or 5 doses, right? How much backwater you add to each solution varies by what type of needle you use, right? So for Kendall's tesamorelin vial, because she's going to be taking ipamorelin with that stack, she's going to take them separately. They're going to come 5 milligrams tesamorelin, 5 milligrams ipamorelin. She's going to be taking those both at the same time. Instead of pulling 1,000 micrograms in a 100 unit needle, which would be all the way to 100, you see here, see the one that'll say mLs. Instead of pulling that and having to shoot herself twice, I'm going to dilute with backwater. Less backwater equals more potent peptide. More backwater equals less potent, which means you draw more. So I use a 0.3 needle. I'm going to use 1 ml of backwater in her 5 milligram tesamorelin vial. She will pull, I don't know, on the peptide calculator, I forgot, I think you pulled the 24, 26 maybe. And then the remainder of the, so she'll pull the 24 in there-ish. The remainder of that will be filled with ipamorelin, or however much she's taking of that. I think she's taking 400 of ipamorelin, so she'll probably be at the 28 mark. So that needle will be full. Personally, I like the 0.3 mLs. They're thicker lines, they're easier to read. This, for me, is just too thin because the lines are too small and they're too put together. You can easily get a 0.3 ml syringe on like diabetes websites, or you can't get them on Amazon. I did get these on Amazon, but they don't sell them on it, or they won't ship them here. So if you need a link for that, let me know. Your tesamorelin is very expensive from Peptide Sciences. That's like designer brand, like very reputable company, but you can get the same product for way cheaper. That's just as pure and just as good from many other companies. So you're gonna need a lot more tesamorelin. You're gonna probably need a lot more of those other peptides that you have in there. So let me know if you need a reputable brand or site for that, and I will happily help you out. I would highly invest in getting these 0.3 ml syringes though. And yeah, figure out your dosage protocol, figure out how all three of those are gonna work together, what you need of each microgram wise, and where you're at with what you want to obtain from the peptides that you're taking. Are you gonna be in a 12-week situation? Are you gonna be more 16 weeks? That'll help you decide how much you need to order, how often you're gonna take it, and essentially, yeah, how much you're gonna need. You're gonna be pulling out of 3 different bottles. So you don't wanna add a lot of backwater. I'm doing your backwater, but you don't wanna add a lot, because if you add too much backwater and you're pulling to 20 and you have to fill your testosterone vial up to 1,000 micrograms, you're not leaving a lot of space. So that will kind of dictate how much you need in your syringe. So figure all that out and let me know if you need any help. But yeah, that will kind of help you gauge off of like what you need. Hope this helps.